All right, hey, welcome guys. First of all, thanks for being cool with the sub today. I'm at a district art meeting all day, so this kind of came up Sunday. I kind of decided that I needed to go, so here we go. So the other day when we finished up on our six things assignment, you should have those finished up first. Get those handed, save those into your folder, make sure all of that is taken care of. And today we're going to start working with the pen tool and doing straight segments. So go to the website. If you're in the home page, make sure you go to Foundations and then go down to number 10. And you should come to this part, this little tutorial. And you'll notice that this time the tutorial actually has little sections of tutorial in it where you have some directions if you want to. If you're struggling a little bit with my demo, you can go back and follow. And my demo will follow along right with this tutorial. So if you're struggling a little bit, you can just go back, rewind this, watch it again until you feel comfortable with it. It will be pretty quick, but there's a few steps in here that will be new because the pen tool is a fairly complicated tool. If you're not real comfortable with drawing, this will be a real test for you, but you're going to get through it. The mechanics of the pen tool are actually pretty intuitive. We'll just have to do a lot of practice. And so today we're just going to be working with just straight segments. And I have a little practice that we'll do that should get you pretty comfortable creating new figures. And a figure is just a closed shape that you create with the pen tool. So, all right, so here we go. So first thing we're going to do, let's kind of go through the targets really quick so you kind of understand what we're going to be doing. So you're going to be creating a new artboard. This time you're going to be doing it landscape 11 by 8.5, and you're going to title it, assignment number. And then you're going to open up the Insight folder that's on your desktop. You're all going to have a file that's in this folder. And I'm going to show you how to copy and paste it into your folder, not just drag it out of there because the other classes need to use it also. So if you drag it out of that file, the next person that comes into class will not be able to grab it. They'll have to go dig around in your folder, and we don't want people doing that. So I'm going to show you how to copy and paste that. You're going to place that Madison Graphics JPEG into your new artboard. You're going to change the opacity to 40%. You're going to lock the Madison Graphic layer. You're going to create a new layer called Trace. You're going to set some horizontal and vertical guides for the ascender and descenders on the typeface that we're going to be creating. And you're going to use your pen tool to do the tracing, using the guides to make sure everything is nice and clean and even. You're going to fill your figures with color. You're going to change the stroke to four points and change the stroke's color. You're going to save your file into your folder on your desktop. So all those things will be, some of this is all new, but it'll be pretty intuitive when we get going here. So let's get rolling. So first of all, let's make sure that we get Illustrator opened up. Get that all kind of ready to go. And then we will make a new file. So I'm going to go to File and then down to New. And I'm going to title it how I need to title it every time. So the assignment is 10, Maves are, and then this is for first period. And this time I want to make sure that my artboard is a landscape. So it's 11 by 8.5. So what I have to do is change this to the landscape, and it changes to 11 by 8.5. And we only need one artboard, so you don't need more than one. Just need one. And hit OK. And I'm going to resize that artboard so that I can see my targets. And then Command 0. Okay, so now I have that. So now what I want to do is I'm going to hide Illustrator really quick, and then I'm going to hide Firefox really quick. And then I've got on my desktop, you're going to see I have this new folder called Insight Files. And Insight File, if I open that up, you're going to see inside of this folder, there's this Madison Graphics -1.jpg. So what I want to do is I want to right-click that and then hit Copy Madison Graphics. Copy that, and I'm going to close it. Then I'm going to open up my folder, and I'm going to right-click and paste that item. Okay, so open up the Insight folder, right-click, copy, open my folder, and then paste, and then right-click again to paste item. So if those items are, so it's still in the Insight folder, but I have just an exact copy in these two folders now. So now I can go back to Illustrator, and back to my Firefox. And now I can place my file. So remember to place, we did that when we did our aesthetic pieces in our sketchbooks. Now we're just going to go to File and then Place, File, Place. And then I'm going to wait for my menu to pop up. And as this is popping up, you'll notice that if your window, if you don't have this window, it looks like this. Okay, make sure you go to your desktop in your drops. Okay, so you have this you should say desktop on the left side. Click desktop. Go to your folder period that you're in. Go to Madison Graphics -1, and then hit place. Okay. So there it is. There's my file. So it's File, Place. Go to my folder on the desktop, and I'm going to place that item, the new one that I just copied and pasted in there. Now it's locked. Now it's in there. So what I want to do is I want to now drop the opacity down on this layer so that when I'm tracing, I can see. If I zoom in really closely, it's a fairly dark line. It's a scan of a drawing, and so it's going to be pixelated, which the little edges like that. That's a raster graphics, so it's different than vector. So I want to make that a little bit lighter so when I'm tracing I can see what I'm doing better. So I go up to opacity, which is up here on the top. Opacity says 100%. I'm just going to select that and type in the number 40 and then hit return. And you see that it changes. Okay, so it goes through 100, change that to 40, and then I'm going to drop in my layers, and I'm going to lock that layer. So right next to the eye, that winking eye, I can lock that layer. And if you get a little symbol that looks like that, that means you can't do anything to that layer now because it is locked. You've deactivated it. But I need to start a new layer because I want to be able to trace. So I make a new layer, double click layer 2, and just call it trace. And there's my new layer, and I can close my layers. Okay, so that is the first step. Now I want to set up my guides. Okay, so they're all ready to go. So I'm going to hit Command R to get my guides out. And then what I want to do is I want to set up these guides. So I want to put up the guides for the ascending line. So the ascender of a letter, the height of a letter, the cap height of a letter, anything that goes above this line, these are ascending. Those lines go up. And then all of the lines below, I'm going to set my guide, just get it close, something that looks pretty good, average across there. So this A goes below that line. That's an ascending part of the figure there. So ascending, descending. So below, below, and above. I'm going to set 4 of those really quick. And then I might zoom in here a little bit closer. And I'm going to set some lines on these lines also that go across these other parts of the type, the letters that I'm going to be creating. So I'm going to get that. I think I'm also going to set this one. That's right. I'm going to set this one here. I'm going to do the same thing down in my graphics. So I want all this to be the same width and height. And the way that I do that is by setting these guides. And the more the guides that I set, the more accurate and easy it will be to do the tracing. So I'm going to set all my guides like that. And then I'm going to zoom in here on the M using my zoom tool. Then I'm going to make some vertical lines. So I'm going to set some vertical lines. Set this up. And then so I get my M set up first. So there is all the guides that I need for that letter. Okay, so then what I'll do, if I hit the letter P, my pen tool pops up. If I hold down on that, you'll see that I have more in that toolbox. I'm going to hold that up. I can add an anchor, delete an anchor, and convert an anchor. And we'll get to those when we make curved segments. We'll talk about all 3 of those tools when we get to curved segments. So I'm going to now get my pen tool. And when you're drawing, when you take your pencil and make a mark, you're leaving behind a stroke. So think about the pen tool as like you're writing. So you're leaving a stroke behind. So I have to change the color in my palette down here. I need to get the fill and the stroke need to switch. The fill needs to be transparent. So I need to make sure it looks like that, and then I have my line like that. Now I'm actually going to change the color of my stroke to red so you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. So I'm going to start there. Now when I use my pen tool, make sure my pen tool is activated. When I make a mark, you'll see that down here there's a little dot right there. You can't really, it doesn't scale. So that little red dot right there is my pen. That's my anchor. So I'm going to go back out. I'm going to zoom back in on my M, and I'm going to delete that anchor out of there. So I'm going to make my first anchor. I'm just going to click, and then I'm going to go up to this next marker, up the guideline. I'm going to click. I'm going to click. I want to go to A, B, B to C, C to D, D to E, E to F, F to G, G to H, I, J, K, L, and then I really want you to look at this, see that down in the bottom now where you see the pen tools at, you see the little circle that's there. That's telling you that that figure is now going to close. So I can't, if I go below it and make another line like that, it's not closed. I have to make sure that that little dot is there. So now it's filled. Now, if I go back to my color picker, I can now switch it back and forth like that and make my red. Okay, and now that's filled. Now I can select a color for my stroke. I can now pick a color for my stroke, and then I can change my stroke. The stroke size, when you're looking at your palette, here's my palette, there's my stroke. If it's not on, if this little stroke button is not here, it's under Window, Stroke. And then I want to change my stroke weight to 4. There it is. Okay, there's my stroke to 4. It doesn't matter to me what colors you choose. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and step back out of that though. I'm going to go back to here. And what I want to show you is if you make a mistake and you put one in the wrong spot, I'll zoom in on this one here since it's in the wrong spot. Okay, we've been using the Direct Select tool, which is the top left-hand little black arrow. We want to now use our Direct Select tool, which is right next to it. By Direct Select, that means you're selecting something directly, one item. So you can grab a segment, you can grab an anchor, which is this little spot here is an anchor. I'm going to double click it, and I can click and drag it. I can move it anywhere that I want it, and it stays connected. I'm actually going to put it down on that little crosshair there, and when I minus out now, you see that it moves around. I can grab this one and move it anywhere that I want with that Direct Select tool. So if you make a mistake and you put it in the wrong spot, just keep going and finish your figure, and then just grab your anchor and slide it back to where it fits. Like this one here needs to move over now. That one's in the right spot now. Okay, so there's my M, and then I want to fill it, switch my color to fill, and then I want to change my stroke color to 4 points. Go back to my stroke. I'm going to crank that up to 4 points. That. Then I'm going to slide over, and then I'm going to start on my A. Okay, I'm going to make sure that my A gets the same, but I'm going to get rid of my fill. Remember, I'm going to get rid of my fill. I'm going to switch that, and I'm going to change my fill back to transparent. I'm going to hit the letter P, and then I'm going to start with my A again and just start drawing. And if you want to leave that 4 points, you can. And just go ahead and get my A done. That. I'm going to go here, get my center done. Like that. I'm going to make sure that the middle is filled with white so that when I fill it, it will be filled. All right, so that's the end of my tutorial today. So if you guys would go ahead and get started, you can come back and double check this, do all of the letters. and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.